I speak Japanese fluent. My English was learned almost in the job. So if you don't understand, please excuse me. Okay. Any question I'd like to know? I'm 80 almost 4. So I remember most of the things after 1947. Well, I don't remember, but I was a baby during the war. But most of the things my mother and my brothers told me. So any question, let me know. Yes.
How old were your siblings?
Excuse me?
How old were your siblings?
My sibling is almost gone. Only my sister is 3 years younger than me. Because, I'm almost 81 years old. So.
Dad, how old was your eldest brother?
Eldest brother,
How much older than you?
Oh, my eldest brother was 12 years older than me. Yes. I'm a fifth son. I have 4 elder brothers. I'm the youngest.
Yesterday, Byron mentioned that your name means fifth son.
Oh yes, fifth son. It's not only that. My father, number 5, plus underneath is a mouse put on it. That's why I became a food business. Some kind of fate. Please question anything.
Where did you live at the time, like when you were born?
I was born in Tokyo City, in downtown Tokyo. And I grew up in downtown Tokyo until around 20. My elementary school, junior high school, surrounded by small wrestler gym all over. So, of course, when we are elementary school, junior high, we play small wrestling always. Yes.
Dad,
Yes.
was everything burnt down when you
Oh
were
yes, of course. Japanese house was made by wooden structure, mostly wood, so easily burned down after air raid. So as far as I remember, I was 3-4 years old. Tokyo City was completely, I can see like this. Tokyo City.
Tokyo City is now home to millions of people.
Oh yeah,
It's a lot of
Tokyo
high
City,
rises.
Greater Tokyo is 36 million people, just like size of 5-borough New York.
But then
So very dense
Can you
population.
imagine all of that? A field.
I see only few buildings, made by concrete is here and there. Otherwise, you can see completely Tokyo City. Any question?
Can I?
Yes.
Was it hard, like, getting jobs for
He-
people?
Well, until Korean War, 1952, that time we had a very difficult time to build back. However, because of Korean War, we had a industrial boom. Since then, we started to pick up everything. Yes.
There was a time then, though, that money was worthless.
Oh no.
Even if you had a job and you could get the money, my father would always tell me that you couldn't even buy food with it because you had to barter something.
Well, after in 1952, the government, built up more, better trust. So money is worth something now. Start to get, you can buy something. Until then, we must use something you have, barter trade, trade. Yes.
Did the city fully recover after the incident?
Excuse me?
Did the city fully recover after the bombs?
Took time. As I said, after 1952, because of Korean War, we got so much, order from American military. So then industry started to pick up more and more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But also, we are very happy that time. We play, we went to the pond and catching the frog, and even Tokyo,
Can you imagine trying to do that in New York City?
Yeah, we take stick, not a fishing pole, with a string and a dried squid, put it in a pond and catch a crawfish, suburb of Tokyo. Yeah, and Tokyo was very safe. We use even I was 8, 9 years old. Public transportation, train, to the just off Tokyo City. There, rice party, and those things. A small stream, as I said, we catch, crawfish. Just think, no pole, fishing pole, with just string and dried squid. We catch a crawfish.
I think, Dad, also, when we were discussing about the fact that you had to barter for everything,
Oh, yeah.
wasn't there an incident concerning your brother?
Oh yeah, that was we talked about already about
Well, no,
antibiotics.
we discussed with the teacher, but you didn't tell the kids.
About
Oh.
it's very difficult time before 1952. My brother was had a problem with spine infection, and fortunately, as I said, my father had a factory and sent so much material to the countryside. So my mother had lots of material. However, my brother had a trouble with infection. So my mother heard from someone, Taiwanese doctor had a penicillin, antibiotic. So she asked how much. No, I don't need the money. I cannot have by anything money. So what do you have? So fortunately, we had material. So exchange with material and antibiotic. My brother was saved, and he became a doctor.
Wow.
But can you imagine being sick and you go to the doctor as usual and you can't get that bubblegum flavored amoxicillin because the doctor doesn't take money? It's quite shocking, and it was a dangerous time. A lot of people died of infection.
Can I ask about if you're talking about getting things through trade?
But
How did you get, was food
Oh
also
yes, food.
for a
Of course,
while
food.
through trade?
Mostly food. Food chain was completely destroyed.
Wow.
Because of bombing.
Right.
Yes.
So where were they getting their food? The food had to be
Well,
then
countryside.
shipped in, right?
Yes, countryside. People go to the countryside with the
Right.
farmers and exchange the food and come back.
So what if you didn't have anything? What happened to people who didn't have?
People died.
They starved.
Yes, starved died.
Right before the things started to pick up again in Japan, I remember hearing from my grandmother, who was born 1919. She was a young woman during the war. That the train stations, there were people there who just went there to try to find somewhere warm, and they would just die of starvation.
Well, war is a very silly things to do. You don't get anything. Destruction, nothing for construction. Okay. Yeah. Yes.
What happened to the people who died? What happened with their bodies?
Well, probably cremate or usually, yes, cremate, and then I remember on the way to the elementary school. That was still 1952. I saw pack of skeletons and bones and pile up in the side of the street. Yes, we have a temple there, nearby. Go to the we walk to the school, and elementary school. I remember I was first grade. Pile of skeleton and a bone, and by the temple in a box. I can see it's because it's not well packed.
You saw
No,
bodies in the bones?
Only bones, because
Bones.
already cremated.
Already cremated?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
What did you do to entertain yourself to pass by time?
Excuse me.
Nice and loud.
What did you do to entertain yourself to pass time?
What was your fun?
Oh, you mean even now? I
Oh,
don't
when you
know.
were-
We never had videotape or anything. We made kite ourselves. We made example, mostly we play is running around whole day, and we call chambara. It means like a Japanese fencing, small stick hit each other. We get always bruise all over.
Didn't you jump off from one roof to another though?
Oh yeah, we just play. Oh, yeah. Even running around on top of the roof, jumping to next. Well, house is very close to each other, about 2 feet or so. But one time I fall off, But that was winter, I hit my nose and bloody. But I was naughty.
Yeah, don't try that at
Don't
home.
try
No,
that.
no, 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 no,
No.
never try, never try. Yeah.
Times are different then.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Anything?
This young lady had a question.
Yes.
How did Tokyo build back up after the mainland?
Well, because we start to get more comeback industrial, factory or other things, so people start to get money, and people kind of start to came back to Tokyo and start to build house. But one by one, they improved a lot now. For example, Tokyo City was very earthquake city. All Japan is. So the creative building is house must have a stucco outside. Try to prevent house burn to next to the house, and also they created a sewage system and the water system is flexible, because of earthquake break up the water system and the sewage system, but still earthquake, they're still okay. But most of the city are not. Yeah.
Was there a lot of earthquakes when you were
Oh
a
yes,
boy?
oh yes, oh yes. I remember, I was junior high even, yeah, when his age, like this. So we have a hibachi, so I warm up the hand. I have to carry down because I'm afraid to catch a fire. Lots of earthquake. Yes.
So can you imagine having to carry this razor because indoor heat?
Yes.
And he had to carry it.
Carry
this
down,
heavy,
yeah.
crazy thing, because he was afraid with the earthquake that the whole place would catch fire.
That's why obligate to build a house with a stucco outside, so prevent house fire next to the next door.
So, and also even if things move, a lot of the buildings in Tokyo, the buildings will actually move a little bit.
Oh yes, shifted.
So it doesn't- so it doesn't
computerized
topple.
underneath. Yeah.
And so Tokyo is very modern, and I went there when I was about your age. It's very modern, it's very clean, and it's very organized, which Tokyo previously, if I remember, Dad, was kind of a little bit more organically grown. There were old houses, there were
Yeah.
old buildings.
Yeah. Because of earthquake, so they changed the law.
Yeah.
They obligate.
And
to build houses.
after the war, since everything was burnt down, they could build more to a one unified plan.
Yes.
How does Japan teach about the war? Or really, do they teach about the war?
Yes, they have to teach, so we had a problem, but we freely to teach now, so what happened? I have to tell you something. I was my mother's mother's back, carry around after air raid. My mother saw American soldier on beach 29, saw the face. They're shooting down the people to
Women
kill.
and children.
Yes. I don't blame American soldier. You know why? Japanese soldier did the other countries too. Russian, they attacked the civilian when Japanese civilian withdraw from Manchuria. They kill and they, many things happen, as you know, right? And, war is silly things. Please try to prevent war, for nothing. Killing, destructive, nothing constructive, But however, as I told Mr. Greedy, many dictator countries try to under control. So America must be strong, Well, unfortunately, military, force. actually stronger than other country. Otherwise, look, Ukraine was guaranteed by America and Russia for the safety because they gave up a huge amount of nuclear warhead. Now what happened? Treaty is breached because balance was broken because of military force. So that's why I'm so sorry, but America must be stronger.
But know well enough
Yeah.
to elect representatives,
Yeah.
to vote, to get out there, and to elect people who are going to be wise enough not to use it over foolishness like toys. Guns, tanks, airplanes, they are not toys.
Yeah.
So you need to be smarter than previous generations and know what we should have known
Yeah.
and not to do it.
Unfortunately, those civilians, usually your people die, you know?
And what I think a lot of things gloss over is the fact that the people in power, they have security teams. They're well protected by all these, you know, super soldiers and everything like that. But what about the common people? You sure as heck weren't seeing their bones piled up, waiting to be cremated, waiting to find somewhere for their last rest. And my dad tells me that that time that my grandmother saw the plane so close shooting down at civilians, she was carrying my father on her back, and she tripped.
Yeah.
Just in that split second, the person right in front of her got shot.
So if she didn't trip over, I wasn't here. I'm not here.
And then Byron's not here.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was a chain reaction that we would have all been gone in one shot. So
Well-
it's a nightmare.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about more fun about that. You know, we play, you know, as I said, we create, you know, even we try to make kite ourselves, you know, split a bamboo stick, then make a kite ourselves. And we learn aerodynamic, but top shape must be a little bit narrower, so kite go up higher. Yes.
How was the environment living when you were a kid?
In Japan, environmental.
Spring is beautiful.
Yeah, was okay. Well, that time we didn't have that much conscious that much, you know, that time, you know, so the same as all other country. But nowadays, you know, we must, you know, go for the green.
And also, it is so humid in the summertime
Oh.
in Japan. You can cut the humidity with anything.
Well, temperature about 86 degrees, but humidity is 100%. So you don't move, but you start to sweat.
How is it in May? Because my wife is going with some friends to Japan in May.
May is fine, fine.
May is
Yes.
gorgeous.
Don't go June. June starts to get the rainy season.
Okay, the end of May is.
Yes,
they're going.
until July 20th.
Nice.
Yes. But I hope you enjoy to go to foreign country overseas, learn more culture, and there are different concepts that are most important to understand other people. Yes. So if you older enough, if you can travel safely, okay, be careful. I recommend that, you know, learn culture and other people concept.
When did you come to America?
1971, April 5th, very sunny day. UN garden has the cherry blossom was full blown. Yes, I still remember.
Do you remember?
Why?
I became a private chef at the ambassador to the UN. So I worked 3 years, worked very hard, and most of my friends became go to the Japanese store. I didn't. I study English at home. I'm not home, in my apartment. You know, every night I brought the English tape recorder. I listen 30 times right, 30 times pronounce every night. So, and also, well, I couldn't speak any English at all, not work. However, study, and once a week I had a English lesson from English teacher, and who recommended me to the restaurant associate, the biggest restaurant industry in New York City, and they wanted me work at the Four Seasons at the first class restaurant in New York City. Yes. So my favorite thing is the cooking. One thing I tell you, I believe in God, okay? But don't rely on the God. Do the best you can. Don't do wrong. And you have to find you like, okay? That's most important in your life.
I remember, Dad, then after that you worked for a private company as a chef.
Yeah. So I went to the private company after restaurant business, and I work very hard, sometimes 26 hours non-stop. I work, one time I had a 4 days big party plus lunch. I worked 20 hours, then extend to 37 hours non-stop I work.
37 hours
Yeah.
non-stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that time, that last party was English Bergman's daughter's wedding in Florida. So I flew to the company airplane. Then I did the reception, and after 37 hours, no, I cannot open my eyes anymore.
Next time we ask you to write an essay, no groaning.
Yeah.
No groaning.
So important, you have to find you like, okay? If you don't like, quit, okay? But also I quit 3 times because company or didn't evaluate my ability. So
They didn't treat him right.
right, but one door closed, another door opened, always, because you do work hard enough, and quality, not quantity, quality and quantity. John Muir said, John Muir, who established Yosemite National Park. Yes, he said, one door closed, another door open. Please do the best you can. Find you like. You must like your job, okay? The most important on your life.
Byron, what were the 2 terms you used yesterday or 2 days ago about the Japanese sayings about falling down, or what was the?
Oh, Narakorobia. Even 7 times fall, 8
8
times
times
to
get
get
up.
up. Fine.
Even if you get knocked down
7 times.
7 times, the 8th time is when you're up.
Stand up.
What was the other one, Byron? Something about.
It can't be helped.
it-
It's basically just like, don't feel sorry for yourself and kind of just keep working at it until you get to a goal, kind of.
It's really nice.
Yeah. Also, we have a saying. Also, the same things in English or Christian. Love your neighbor. It's exactly the same thing we have.
Oh.
We take care of the next, both sides of the neighbor and front 3 houses. So take care of neighbor. That was exactly I do too. Even I'm almost 81 years old. My neighbor is younger than me. I snow shovel very heavy because the machine didn't pick up. And another neighbor was stuck in, so cannot get out, so I just shoveled it. They are much younger than me, but I paid the price. Next day, I start to get my high blood pressure or something, something wrong.
Wow.
So
It's a
I
day
went-
of rest.
Yeah,
It's a day of rest.
I did too much.
But, there is, in Japan, this sense of we're all in it together. We all need to take care of each other.
Yeah.
If you ride the bullet train in Japan, when they first introduced the bullet train, they had the speakers say, please make sure that you take all your belongings with you. You think that would be a normal message. But the passengers in Japan felt a little insulted because they would expect that they would look after the person next to them. So why do you have to say that? Of course, I'm going to make sure that they don't leave their bag. So it's a society built on trust
Yeah.
and caring for one another.
Yeah, or
So-
consider other people. You know, I think this country has problem. My First Amendment. You know, this is my right, whatever you want. But think about other people's feeling. You know, for example, my neighbor has a skeleton or funeral house like all over, two big
like that.
skeleton stand there. You know, skeleton all over. How about next to a field? So we consider other people's feeling too. Please
Well-
think about it.
So, does anybody have any more questions?
I have another question.
Sure.
It's okay. When you came to America, did any of your friends or family
No.
feel bad about that? Was there any ill will about coming to America?
No. Some people are yes, but basically Japan is an island country, and we're very curious about other countries or other information. For example, we use three characters letter, kanji, katakana, hiragana.
3
If a foreign language, we use katakana, so we know this word is come from overseas.
country.
Yes.
But in fact, my father, one of the big things, and definitely think about this when you're thinking about your parents, but after the war, when everything was destroyed, in Japan there wasn't a system for Social Security, for elderly people to be taken care of by the government. There wasn't
now they
anything
do
like
now,
that.
yeah.
Now they do.
Yeah.
But when my dad left, they were just starting up a Social Security fund. My father had been working since high school and saving his money, so he had a nice nest egg. When he left, he gave all of his money, years and years of work, he gave it all to his mother and said, put this money into this new government program. That way you will be taken care of when I'm across the ocean. And won't
I
have to
brought
worry.
only $50. I need so.
2 knives.
Yeah, because I had a job
everything.
and a place to live, so
And that's another big
Mm.
part of Japanese culture
Yes.
is looking after your parents
right.
and caring about the people who came before you. So I've always remembered that, finding
Well,
out about
I'm
my
very
dad.
old-fashioned.
About that.
Yes, but respect your ancestor. We have a saying always. Nearest ancestor is your parents. Take care of your parents. That I did. Yes.
What was the hardest thing for you, like, when you moved to America?
Excuse me?
What was the hardest thing for you when you moved to America?
Nothing.
Just worked 37 hours, nothing.
Well, you know, when I came here, I was almost 27. But I was very curious too, you know, about other countries. It's funny things is, if you think about Adora, it's dream come true. When I was 4th grade, I was watching the American map of America, how rich country it is, you know. And so here I am, you know. And I was dreaming, I retiring by the mountain, by the lake. Now here I am, I'm retired by the lake and the mountain. Yeah.
What you put in your mind happens in your life.
Oh yes, yes. But you work hard. You have to work hard. Yes. Save money. Don't waste. Don't smoke. Don't drink too much. Okay. Enjoy a little bit, but don't smoke. Don't drug. Okay.
Yes?
When you lived in Japan, did you see, like, the shadows at all on the ground? And
Are the shadows from the
yeah,
Oh, Hiroshima.
from the
yeah.
from the
Atomic
atom
bomb. Atomic bomb.
Yeah,
No, no.
the shadows.
Well, no, we don't have.
Dad, I
But-
think what she's asking is when the bomb went off,
Yeah.
it was almost like a photograph where they imprinted the shadows
Shadows
of
of the
the people.
No, mostly abandoned. That's why we don't have those things left at all. However, my mother told me, bomb exploded, body was exploded, and it stick to the concrete.
Yeah.
Yes. And well, of course, my brother tried to go home, but she couldn't go home because the body is all over the street. They have to step home, but They
where was
can't.
this now?
In Tokyo.
Oh, in Tokyo,
Yeah.
because of the bombing.
After.
I have to ask you, when you moved to America, did you feel much prejudice against you?
Oh yes, of course I had. While was working at ambassadors, so no. When I came here, New York was so quiet compared to Tokyo. Very quiet, New York City is. You know, because so many stations around. One station, Shinjuku Station, now 3.2 million a day getting on and off. Ikebukuro 3 million, Shibuya 2.8 million, Tokyo is 2.2 million, something like that. So
Dad,
busy street.
I think what they were also asking is that I remember you had some issues with the kitchen where they didn't want
Oh, yeah.
to put you in front because you had a Japanese name.
No. Yes, I was working the Four Seasons. And then New York Times came over and the chef made it. And this Mimi Sheraton is very famous food critic. And she said, I can't eat this. Send back. So I had to make it. And I made it and she said, wow, I never eat this good food. I like to give you 3 stars, that time 3 stars top. But I will not give you 3 stars. Why I only have flowers on my table? That reason Four Seasons didn't get 3 stars.
Also, they didn't want my dad because he
Because
was a
I'm
Japanese man.
Japanese,
They
yes.
didn't want him to have the credit when they were serving this famous food critic for the New
Yeah,
York Times.
now different. Now different.
Now it's very different.
Yeah.
But back then,
That's
they had to
1970s.
put kind of a European or Western name forward as being kind of the front man. But he didn't have the skill, my father did. So that's why the food critic didn't, like it at first. And then my dad had to go in and rescue it. But my dad faced a lot of issues with people, disregarding his talent and things like that because
Well, that's why I moved to the private company. That I can spend lots of money, and restaurant industry is not good benefit they have, so they gave me so much benefit, salary, bonus, vacation, unbelievable amount. You have no idea how much I made.
they took very good care of my father
I work
because
hard.
they recognized his ability.
Yes.
And it was for that company that Dad worked 37 hours straight.
Thank you.
What was your favorite type of food to make when you were chef?
I grew up with milk and butter and rice.
But Dad, when you were a chef, you became a French chef.
Oh yeah, French continental, yes, of course, yeah. Four Seasons is. And my favorite things, I like butter and cheese. It's a very unusual Japanese I am.
In my dad's time, when he was young, there wasn't a lot of dairy used in Japanese food, and people didn't even have ovens in their houses.
Oh yeah.
So there was
Well,
no baking.
Yeah.
Anything.
In the elementary school, we had a lunch. It's not free lunch, but they serve milk, which
No one else.
non-fat milk. America supplied, United States supplied. That tastes awful. However, my mother was interested by fresh milk, which 2 cups of milk I had every day. No one touched it, but I ate. I love milk and butter and cheese. So I grew
So
up
you
with
got a
butter.
taste for it.
That's why I'm strong.
All the calcium.
Oh yeah.
Well, you're about a foot taller than all of your siblings.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah.
So
Well, I shrunk 4 inches because of age. A little over 4 inches. Can you believe it? I realized I tried to put a, light switch. Used to be, like this, now.
Did you change your name? I feel like a lot of people that come from Asian countries change, like Americanize their names.
No, don't have to. I like my name.
Yeah, I just always wonder why that's,
Yeah.
maybe for pronunciation's sake, or, you know, why that happens
Sometimes
often.
it's for pronunciation's sake. I was raised in the city and in Queens, and a lot of times, especially in the 1980s, people couldn't even pronounce my name.
Yeah, it's difficult.
I think my name's pretty easy.
Yeah,
but
mine is easy though.
it wasn't usual. So because something isn't usual, sometimes people think, oh, it's weird, I don't even want to try it. So, and unfortunately, that's what happened to a lot of Asian Americans who came to this country. And luckily for us, we were in New York City for the most part, and so it was a little bit easier. I did face, when I was young, a great deal of prejudice in this country from people who did not like having a Japanese girl around. When, you know, my father was very busy working, I got chased with hockey sticks and bats by local kids. They said they were going to get that Japanese. You haven't covered this in American history yet, but there was a period of time when Japanese economic resurgence was extremely strong, and there were a lot of
Yeah,
companies.
1980s.
A lot of companies were shutting down in this country, and people were very angry. They were afraid of Japan. They said, oh, Japan, you know, we helped them out, and now they're buying Rockefeller Center. They're going to own everything. Obviously, this hasn't happened. But they took it out on a 7-year-old girl. And that's unfortunately the reality of this kind of fear and this kind of... Have you kids learned the word xenophobia? You know it. What is xenophobia?
It was the fear of everything, but now it's translated into more of the fear of foreigners or strangers.
Xenos is from the Greek, you know, for a stranger. And so it's a fear of something that is foreign, usually used for foreign people. And as humans, I think we also have a evolutionary thing where you want to stick with your own tribe, but I think as a people, as a species, we have to overcome this, because when we're xenophobic, when we're afraid of other people and other things, you end up with terrible wars like World War II. You end up with people sending people to concentration camps, internment camps, because you say, oh, you're concentrating on only the differences. These people are weird, they're different from us. They're easy to single out. And but in the end, it's wrong.
So anyway, I wish for you good luck, okay? Choose your job you like. Do the best you can. But trust in God, okay? But don't rely on the God. Do the best you
Rely
can.
on your own effort.
Don't do
I
wrong.
also.
Don't smoke. Don't do drugs. I never do. I never did. That's why I'm strong, 81.
That's why he's still shoveling his neighbor's snow.
Yeah. I use sledgehammer still.
He does. I had spoken to his neighbor, and they are a good, 30, 40 years younger than him. And they said they had just moved into the area, and you know, they didn't know much about the area yet and how much snow they would get. They live up in the mountains. And the husband says to the wife, did you hire somebody already? They were surprised with the snow, to get rid of the snow. And she said, no, what do you mean? And there's my dad, my 80-year-old dad, outside shoveling snow. And I said, Dad, what were you doing? And he said, oh, you know, they're kids. Mind you, they're like 50. They're kids, they didn't know. I have to help them. So this is from Clean Living.
Love it.
So I wish you luck, okay? Be well. As I remember, believe in God. But don't rely on the God. Do the best you can. And don't do wrong.
Any further questions?
Find your job you like.
Amen to that. I've
So
been teaching
grateful
40
that you
years, and
do.
that's a great job. I love it. It's a great thing to do something you love.
That's important. You must like your job.
Uh-huh.
And did you make these?
Yes.
My father brought brownies to everyone.
I think we all are guys, and thank you so
Yeah,
much.
thank you so much.
No, go ahead.
Okay.
Please.
Do you have, oh, warning, there are walnuts in them.
Walnuts,
no.
yeah, if you're allergic to walnuts.
Okay, I'm
Okay.
so sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
One row at a time, you can stop that, one row at a time.